Hello friends, in the last lecture I have started use of be able. It's very simple topic. First part has been completed. First part means we have learned how to replace can or could with be able to. We have learned how to replace can or could with be able to. Now we are going to learn second part, that is how to replace be able to with can or could. Be able to with can or could. Let's take some examples. Don't take examples. I have written 3 examples. Okay, cancel. Okay, pay attention here. I have written 4 examples, and in these examples, able to has been used. Able to. We have to replace can or could. Depending upon the auxiliary verbs, we have to write can or could. If am, is, are there, then take can. If was and where would be there, then take could. Then take could. Okay. Boys were able to help you. Where is there? So take this where able. Replace this whole part with could. Boys could help me. Okay? Boys could help me. Where? So it is simple past. We take could in simple past. So where able to. Replace could with where able to. Boys could help me. Second sentence. I am able to complete my project. Am is simple present. So replace am able to with can. I can complete my project. I can complete my project. Okay. In this way, replace am able to with can. I can complete my project. We were not able to stop them. Negative sentence is there. Negative. Were not able to. So take could not. Where is there? So take could not. We could not stop them. We could not stop them. Have you understood? Were not able to. Replace were not able to with could not. We could not stop them. Next sentence. No one was able to attend the party. No one was able to. Was able to. Means we have to use could. No one could. No one could attend the party. No one could attend the party. Have you understood? It's very simple. Depending upon auxiliary verbs, we have to use can or could. If am, is, are there, then take can. If was or where would be there, then take could. Write down this whole sentence. I am not giving rules. Write down these full sentences. Take sentences fast. Write all sentences. Okay, if you have completed, then take some sentences for practice. Then I start one new lesson, that is gerund and infinitive. Gerund and infinitives both are grammar parts. We have to identify infinitive, and also I teach that part later after giving some examples. Take some examples. Take all citizens are unable to tolerate this flag. Anybody can donate for this noble cause. Write with me. I was unable to refuse them. Nobody could understand his language. All farmers were not able to wait for the rain. You can support our company. Write these sentences. Fast. Write these sentences. Some more. My friend is unable to. My friend is unable to appear for the exam. My friend is unable to appear for the exam. We all were not able to attend the function. Nobody could stop this. Okay, solve these examples. Which example? All farmers were not able to wait of the rain. Correct. Of the rain. No problem. What are all? Both correct. Wait of the rain. Both are correct. For and off. Write fast. Okay, now pay attention here. If you have completed these examples, then I am starting another one lesson, gerund and infinitives. These are the separate grammar parts. You can be asked to identify gerund or infinitive. Mostly, you would be asked to underline the infinitive in the given sentence. First of all, you should know what is gerund and what is infinitive. Just take name of title, name of topic. Just take gerunds and infinitive. Okay, write gerunds and infinitive. First of all, we shall see gerund. Don't write sentences. Okay, pay attention. Don't write. Just take title. Don't write anything. Let's first try to understand what is the meaning of gerund. We use main verb with ing in continuous tense. Okay, when we add ing to main verb, it becomes present participle, and we use such verb with ing in present continuous, in past continuous, and in future continuous. Sometimes we use as an adjective for boiling water. Sometimes we use main verb plus ing as an adjective for boiling water, drinking water. Okay, but when we use main verb with ing suffix as a noun, then it is gerund. Okay, gerund means when we use present participle as a noun in the given sentence, then that is gerund. And such gerund functions differently in the given sentences. Sometimes it functions as subject, sometimes it functions as object, sometimes it subjects as complement to the auxiliary verb, sometimes it functions as the object of preposition. And I have written some sentences here. Have you understood what is the gerund? Gerund is a such main verb with ing which is used as noun. Which is used as a noun. Subject of the verb: swimming is my hobby. Swim is verb. I have added ing and I have used this present participle as a noun. As a noun, so it is gerund and it functions as subject. Subject, verb, and that complement. This gerund functions as subject and it is verb plus ing. Second, gerund can functions as object, object of the verb. I like playing. Play is main verb. I have added ing to the main verb and I have used this present participle as a noun, so it is gerund. So it is gerund. And this gerund has been used as the object. This gerund has been used as the object of the verb. It is subject, it is verb, and it is object. Now, next sentence. My favorite hobby is reading. Read is verb. I have added ing, and this main verb with ing has been used as a noun. So it is gerund, and it is complement to the verb is to be verb. My favorite hobby is reading. It is complement to the to be verb. It is complement to be verb. Okay. Now next sentence. He insisted on paying fees. He insisted on paying fees. He insisted on paying fees. Pay is verb. I have added ing to pay, and this present participle has been used as a gerund, and this gerund has been after preposition on. So it is preposition of object. Sorry. Object of preposition, not preposition of object. Object of preposition. Okay. Object of preposition. This gerund functions as object of preposition. Have you understood what is the meaning of gerund? When we use present participle of verb as a noun, then it is called as gerund. Such gerund functions as subject, verb, object, subject, object, complement, and object of preposition means prepositional object. Have you understood? Now write information about gerund. Write information about gerund. When we use main verb plus ing, when we use main verb plus ing, when we use main verb plus ing as a noun in the given sentence, then it is called as gerund. As a noun, then it is called as gerund. Full stop. Another point. Such gerunds functions as subject, object, complement, and object of preposition in the given sentences. Okay, after this introduction, write down these 4 sentences with their functions. Have you written? Have you completed these sentences? Then I take infinitive. I first explain what is the meaning of infinitive. Then on both parts we shall take some examples. From next lecture, I start with lessons. Look, first of all, I explain what is the meaning of infinitive. Infinitive is the base form of verb with to. Infinitive means the base form of main verb with to. And such infinitive is not limited by person or any tense of the sentence. By person or by any tense of the sentence. It remains always same in any tense, in any number of subjects. I take one example. Raj likes to eat mangoes. In this sentence, it is subject. It is verb, main verb, and to it is infinitive. It is main verb and there is preposition to it. Base form of verb and there is preposition to before it, to it. So it is infinitive. Look, I change subject. Boys, I take boys. It is third person singular, so likes, yes is added, but it is plural, third person plural, so only like. Look, after changing the subject, main verb also changes. After changing the subject, there is change in the main verb, but this infinitive remains same. There is no any effect, there is no any change. Okay. Raj likes to eat mangoes. Boys like to eat mangoes. Now I change the tense. We like to eat mangoes. I change the tense from present to past. From present to past. Okay. Main verb has been changed, but infinitive remains same. Okay, there is no any change. So infinitive means base form of verb with preposition to, and it is not limited by person or tense of the given sentence. It remains always same. As like Jiran, it also functions as subject, it also functions as object, it also functions as complement of to be's word, it also functions as prepositional object, object of preposition. Okay, both object of preposition or prepositional object. Have you understood infinitive? Now take the meaning of infinitive and then I take some kinds of examples according to their functions. Right? Infinitive. Right? Infinitive is the base form of the main verb. Infinitive is the base form of the main verb. Infinitive is the base form of the main verb with two before it. With two, put two into single inverted commas. With two, put two into single inverted commas with two before it. Full stop. Next point. It is not limited by. It is not limited by person, comma, number of the subject, person, comma, number of the subject, and the tense of the given sentence, and tense of the given sentence. Full stop. It remains always same in all sentences. It remains always same in all sentences. It remains always same in all sentences. Full stop. Okay. After this information, write down these three sentences. Okay. Now, take some examples according to function. Don't write, just pay attention. infinitives functions as subject, object and complement of verb. Complement of verb. Okay, here look, to see is to believe. Here to see is infinitive and to believe is also infinitive. To see functions as subject and to believe functions as complement to this verb. But I take as a subject for your information. To see, I take to see as a subject. See is base form, it is with to and it functions as subject of the verb. Object of the verb, birds love to sing. Subject, verb and its infinitive base form with to. So, to sing is the object of the verb. To sing is the object of the verb. It functions as object of the verb. Subject, verb and object. Now, complement of the verb, his habit is to play. To play is infinitive and it functions as complement to this verb. Have you understood? Now after that, after those sentences, take one line. After those sentences, take one line. Such infinitives functions as subject, comma, functions as subject, comma, object and complement of the verb. Such infinitives functions as subject, comma, object and complement of the verb in the given sentences. Complement of the verb in the given sentences. Okay. After that line, take these three sentences. Take these three sentences fast. Write all sentences I have taken. Now, I take some sentences in which we have to write gerund into infinitive and infinitive into gerund. Just take, for example, time is about to over. Okay, pay attention here. I have written 4 sentences. In some sentences there are infinitives and in some sentences there are gerund. We have to convert gerund into infinitive and infinitive into gerund. Birds love to sing. To sing is infinitive, convert into gerund. Birds love singing. Birds love singing. Okay. Now next, writing is a good habit. Writing is gerund, convert into infinitive. Don't just pay attention. To write is a good habit. To write is a good habit. Okay. He refused to do so. To do is infinitive, convert into gerund. He refused doing so. He refused doing so. He likes playing cards. Playing is gerund, convert into infinitive. He likes to play cards. Have you understood how to convert gerund into infinitive and infinitive into gerund? I have taken simple some sentences. You would be asked different kinds of examples. Okay. Now time is about over. So write down these 4 sentences. First of all, write down these 4 sentences. Write down these 4 sentences.